Hello, welcome and welcome back to The Whole Bucket. I'm Cheryl and this is Darcy's December Daily. And wait a minute, I gotta make an adjustment because this is a big one. Let's see, where are we? Oh, there we are. Getting better. Wait a minute. Oh, whoops. I think we can go back. No, we can't go one bigger. It's gotta be right there. I told you this was a big one. It's Darcy's December Daily, and today is my first of 3 Darcy's December Daily representations, and I want to represent her well. Darcy, I hope you are happy with this. I hope people love this. I don't know, guys, okay? I don't know. So, anyway, my day is, let's take a peek. My day is right here, the 21st. The proof is in the pudding. I get to talk about dessert. How fun is that? I mean, Christmas is synonymous with pies and cakes and cookies and oh my. So, that's what this is. You might have been wondering. Okay, so this is a junk journal channel show. What's with the food? Well, it's my dessert. So, I have some favorite desserts, and I will talk about those in just a minute, but I didn't have them available at the moment. So, I have a couple of things going on here on my plate. One is a favorite dessert of mine, shortbread cookies. Simple, no fuss, pure flavors, yum. I love shortbread. Love it to bits. This is some mascarpone cheese. It's to go with these two. That is vanilla brandy. And I bet y'all know what this is. Fruitcake. Classic Christmas fruitcake. So the reason it's here is because I have never had fruitcake. Because I'm a texture person. And when I was a kid, I didn't like raisins cooked in things I didn't like raisins very much. But I certainly didn't want them in my food. And a lot of fruitcakes looked really dark, and it reminded me of mincemeat. And mincemeat has always had a name that turned me off right from the get-go. And it's really a lot of flavors I don't like. Stewed fruit and all the spices, and no, not for me. Okay, so fruitcake was intimidating as a kid, and I just never did it as a grown-up either. I'm going to try something classic Christmas that I have never tried before. And we're going to try it a couple of different ways. So I was supposed to bring some cold butter down here and do a chunk of this in just plain cold butter. I was also supposed to do a chunk of this just plain, which we will do first in the tasting. So let's just put that right there. Another thing that we're going to do is take a chunk of this, and I think I'm going to take a little bit bigger chunk than that because I put a little more vanilla brandy in that cup than I intended to. There we go. Anyways, one of the things that you can do with cakes like this is soak them, and you can soak them for a long time. I was just watching Sorted. That's a UK cooking channel. If you don't know, check out Sorted. They're awesome. Anyways, Ben was talking about how he soaks his cake for days on end until you get a whole bottle in that puppy. And yeah, okay. And then when I got this thing, my mother told me that my grandmother used to soak hers in rum, I think she said, maybe. Anyways, I thought, well, I have vanilla brandy. Okay. Let's just drop that right in there. I'm going to drop that right in the vanilla brandy and let it soak up however much it soaks up while I'm working at my desk. Sooner or later, we're going to taste test that thing and find out if we like fruitcake dunked and soaked in vanilla brandy. Oh, look at the little air bubbles coming out. All right, well, it's soaking up the brandy. And then we're going to try a piece with mascarpone cheese. And if I have to take a break for one reason or another, and I happened to go upstairs to my son's house and find some butter. We might try a butter piece as well, because that came highly recommended. Holy buckets, was it an adventure to get our grubby little paws on this fruitcake, because apparently fruitcake is just not very popular around here anymore, and nobody had any. Well, okay, one store had one version and they had two of them and it was $30. Well, I'm not doing a $30 taste test. I'm sorry. I mean, I care a lot about people who bother to watch my channel. So I appreciate all of you, but I can't afford to appreciate you for $30 of fruitcake. So I'm sorry. I hope that doesn't offend you, but I can't appreciate you that much. All right, silliness aside, I'm going to set this aside and show you what we're going to do today while we talk about my absolute favorite desserts, because it's dessert day. Okay, make sure that you send in the comments, what is your favorite dessert? Why is it your favorite dessert? Where did you first hear about it? Is it a holiday season dessert, or December daily doesn't have to be Christmassy or Hanukkah-y or Kwanzaa-y, right? Or New Year's Eve, which is also coming up. So it doesn't have to be, or Thanksgiving-y, which just got over. Okay, that's enough of that. It can be whatever you want. So maybe your favorite dessert is from some other holiday or some other season or something. So tell me what you got. So while I do this, which is just going to be prepping some stuff, I'll tell you my very most favorite 3 desserts. One of them is called Black Magic Cake, and it is from the Cocoa Box. I think you can still get the recipe on the can of cocoa, baking cocoa, right? Or it doesn't have to be baking, but just plain cocoa powder. And it's a very moist, very chocolate, enhanced with a little extra strong coffee cake. And my mother makes it, and she makes it with fudge frosting, and not just white frosting with cocoa in it, and not just from a can at the store, which, I mean, those things are all fine and dandy, right? But no, I mean actually fudge, and not cheater fudge either. The old-fashioned candy maker kind of fudge. And I'll tell you something, my mother is a bit of a perfectionist about a lot of things, and one of them is cooking. And if you're ever afraid that you're going to end up with, not like you're going to get a cake from my mother, but she might make you a cake if you asked her to. What was I saying? Oh, if you were ever to get a cake from my mother and you thought, oh, fudge frosting might turn out grainy, that sounds a little risky. No. There will be no grainy fudge. Oh, it was smooth and delicious and wonderful, and the thickness of the fudge on top of that squishy moist cake was just phenomenal stuff. I mean, you cannot argue with any of that. So I trimmed off the strippies, and now I am going to mark where 6 inches is, because this little trimmer of mine does not have an extension, and it's only 3.5 inches at best. And then I will explain what it is I'm doing here in just a second here. I just said here twice in one sentence. Grammarly would be so mad at me. Okay, so, I don't think she'll think it's funny, and she does watch my videos. So, Mother, I apologize for this. If you're unhappy with my behavior, skip this part. But you don't have to admit who you are in public, so nobody will know. So just, it's okay. Relax. Anywho, I'm going to tell a secret. My mother made she used to do some cake decorating. She wasn't a professional, right? She certainly could have been. Oh my gosh, her cakes were fabulous. So 70s though. Like if you watch cake shows now and they ask for a vintage cake decoration, hers would be top of the list. She was amazing at it, but didn't want to do it professionally because professionally takes a lot of the fun out of it, which is entirely true. Also, it's a lot of stress and a lot of pressure. Think about if you're doing somebody's wedding cake. Oh my gosh, the nerves that would require. So sometimes you don't want your passions and skills to turn into a job and be full of stress, right? You just want to stay in your happy place. Anywho, she made a black magic cake. She put fudge frosting on it, and then because that was the requested cake. And then, okay, that turned out. And then, for whatever reason, and I don't think it was ever discovered, but for whatever reason, the fudge didn't set. And it didn't set, and it didn't set, and she tried waiting as long as she could, and then it was time to go, and they asked for clowns because it was a kid's birthday cake, and she was mortified at the time because she is a perfectionist. You should, have a sense of humor about these things. Everybody else did, but she was very sad that it didn't turn out. And I get that because, when you present something to people, you want it to be perfect, but the fudge wouldn't set, and the clowns were on each corner of the cake, and they just slid right off the cake. Oh my gosh. I mean, if you're the creator and the person asked to do this special thing, it's a disaster and it's painful. As far as I know, everybody else thought it was a hoot. And you know what? These things happen. They happen. You can't let yourself be overly stressed about, oh shoot. Oh, wow. Okay, that's a mess. So I'm getting out this old rickety thing. You might be wondering why I didn't just cut the paper on here, because the blade is very dull. And I need to replace this thing. I mean, it's been breaking, but I really actually broke it. It doesn't even hold together anymore, so it doesn't measure properly anymore. But we're gonna just do a quick something. Words. We're gonna do a couple of scores. We're gonna score a couple spots on these cuts I just did. So I'm gonna do 4 of them. We're gonna start with 4. And what I've decided to do, since it's dessert day and I'm talking about these fabulous desserts, gosh, you know what? One of the fabulous things about my parents, my mother and my stepfather, right, is that they were both phenomenal cooks. So food at my house was far beyond ordinary. Far beyond ordinary. And I just totally got distracted because I'm trying to figure out these pages. Anywho, I have been wanting to design a recipe book for keeping family recipes for a very long time, and I keep avoiding this project because I'm not really sure how I want it to look and what I want to do. I thought I would take this opportunity on dessert day to talk about my recipe book and to maybe get ideas from you and to just throw some concepts around and what else? I have an idea. Anyways, if you think of anything on how to improve this idea or adjust this idea or whatever, especially if you're my cousin Debbie, because Debbie and I talked about this, and you know what? We talked about a lot of things that day and we never wrote them down. So I had to call her more than once. No, I only called her once so far. I wanted to call her again about this. I called her about something else already. So I'm going to end up calling her more than once about that day because I don't remember what we talked about. Anyway, I have a new idea. We'll see. We're going to try out this recipe book concept and see how I like it and how it will perform. And the idea is to either create a book to keep your old family recipes in on their original cards. I have a bunch of those that I might use. Oh shoot, I didn't want 1 inch either. Gosh darn me. Well, glad it's a sample. So I'm going to do 1/4 inch, and then I'm going to do 2 inches. And then I'm going to do 7. I actually have a new scoreboard and cutting trimmer that I want. I just can't really do it right now. Budget speaking, you know. Got to be careful. But it is on my wish list. And it's actually in my Amazon cart. But it's going to be sitting there for a while. Okay. I don't know which ones to do. I actually don't want the apple one, and I did the apple one. I do want the blackberry one, though. There's a favorite of mine, man. Blackberry. Which actually brings me to my favorite desserts number 2. My favorite dessert number 2 is one that I made and kind of made up the recipe. So it is white chocolate and raspberry trifle. And I got the recipe from some recipe book ages ago. And of course I changed it because I don't ever follow recipes exactly. I have to change everything. Recipes, directions, you name it. I change everything. I don't want this one. It's got the wrong attitude for what we're doing today. This one feels like the meat department because that feels like it should go with a roast or something. I don't know. This one looks like baking, but I don't like people in my books. But this might not be my book. If this turns into an actual whole book, this might be somebody else's. All right. So we'll let Grandma be in my book. Anyway, white chocolate raspberry trifle. Now, it sounds a little braggy that it's one of my favorite desserts and it's mine. It is a little braggy. It's going to sound even more braggy because these 3 desserts that I'm telling you about, even though one of them is my very own recipe, and I don't know that you should be this braggy about your own stuff, but these 3 desserts I consider some of the best food in the world. Hands down. Ever. Okay, it's all opinion, right? But in my opinion, these 3 desserts should be at the top, would be at the top of my list no matter what. So black magic cake, white chocolate and raspberry trifle. I make a Chambord syrup to do the soak for the cakes. I do a raspberry pudding and fresh raspberries for the filling, a fresh Bavarian custard, chantilly cream, add a little lemon juice so it's not all sweet, right? Oh my gosh. I don't even remember what else. I don't remember where the white chocolate fits in. It might have been a white chocolate custard. We already have these 2 because I cut these pages out twice. Okay. So we're all set with that. I'm talking really fast today. I apologize. I'm a little bit on the hyper side because I have so many things on my plate right now and I'm feeling a tad overwhelmed. Wow. My camera is way off kilter. I wonder if I hit it or if it's just vibrating. I know it's vibrating quite a lot. I intend to get a different camera holder. Okay. Okay, anyway, sorry I'm talking so much. I'm kind of hyper because I just have a lot on my plate at the moment. I will try to calm down. Calm down. Take a moment to breathe. Okay, so here's my idea. I want to fold over this tiny edge because that's going to be a tuck edge, right? And I want this to be pretty sturdy. If it's a recipe book of recipes that get used a lot, which is the hope, of course, then you're going to want the opening of the pocket to be extra strong. Then there is the pocket, and the 7 inches is where it would fold to be sewn in as a page or in a signature. So I'm going to do that to all 4. That's not a very big all. 1, 2, 3. I should have scored this one at the other end, huh? So I didn't mess up the blackberries. It might be all right. One, 2. Oh, you know what? I already know something I might have done wrong. I guess we'll find out in just a minute here. And I forgot to score this one. Ow. That makes it kind of tricky for my fingers that don't work properly. Oh, ow. All right, we'll find out in a minute if I'm gonna, how this is gonna turn out. So here's my idea. I think if I take pages like this and create a signature, well, see, there's one I did wrong already, but it's actually turning out right, I think. Let's just keep going. I have lost track of what I wanted to do. Okay, so if I do that, so that the fold is on every other side, what do we end up with? Here's my thought, is we have a tuck spot for the recipe card, a decoration spot that we can decorate ahead of time, or I can decorate ahead of time, or add things into the cover, front and back, for if someone were to buy a recipe book like this, right? Then maybe give them ephemera that matches the book, and then they can decorate it. And then on this side, create writing space so they can put a picture of their family recipe and then write a story about it, right? And then the next page is, oh, okay, good. The next page doesn't have a pocket at all, right? I'll show you what to do in a minute. So then we have a pocket and a writing page, and a writing page and a pocket, and the last one should be no pocket. Oh, it is. That wasn't what I thought. I thought it would be every other. I'm fine with it the way it turned out. So on the ones that have no pocket, what I want to do is pick a side for writing and a side for pocket. And on those ones, create a vellum pocket. So then create some tags and some recipe cards that match the book, and have a spot so you can put your own recipes in or rewrite them, right? So have recipe cards for the tuck, side tuck things, and have tags for this. Or even just cards. So I made some cards. This is how long ago, right? This is how long ago I started this idea. This is when I was streaming on Facebook. Somebody said, what about recipe cards? What about just making the recipe cards? And I did on the live show. And it's been a long time. And these have just been sitting waiting for a home. So I did some samples just to give it a try and see what kind of things I could do. But this size card is what I would make to match. And then this would be a top pocket and a tag or a card would stick in there. Now I'm noticing that that's way too tall. I thought these cards were 3 by 5. No, this is the 4 by 6. And if your book is 6 inches tall, a 6-inch card won't fit in it. Well, I didn't think that through, did I? Okay, so easy enough. I can make my tags fatter and shorter. Let's see what happens over here, though. Then I have nowhere this will tuck in. I would have to make different, shorter, fatter recipe cards, too. And I'd probably want them to be on something decorative, so you can put them that way, and the writing's on that side, right? Okay. So this turns out to be a 6 by 5 book. And actually that's not a terrible size. And it'll have bigger and bigger. Like it'll stick out. They won't be straight. This will be a little wonky because the middle ones are just a tiny bit out farther than the inside ones. But I don't think I would change that. I think I would just do 3 recipe sections or 3 page sections. That's actually 6 recipes, right? 1, 2, or 5? 3, yeah, 5. 4, 5. Okay. I thought about, shoot. What did I think about? I thought about something. I thought about making a book according to holiday, like all the family's Christmas favorites, or all the family Hanukkah favorites, or all the family Thanksgiving, Easter, 4th of July picnic, whatever holiday is in your country / family / you know, spiritual belief. So I thought about doing it by holiday. Then you'd have a treasury of just your stuff. And I thought about, so I could do signatures by that even, and have a big book of signatures that are by holiday instead of by course. I don't know though. Should tell me what you think of that idea, or tell me what ideas you have in that realm. Because, I mean, it could sit in the box for years more, this project, but it would be better if it didn't sit in the could be a project department anymore and actually make some progress. Okay, so let's do what? Take a short break. I'll be back in a second. I will prepare the next stage of stuff to do. Okay, I have the next batch of stuff ready to go, but I thought we should get this done, because this is what's important, because it's dessert day. Oh, I am ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I do repeat myself a lot too. So, all right, fruit cake. Cake and fruit. And nuts. Look, that looks like pistachio. I love pistachios. I see some stuff in there that looks like walnut. All right, here you go. Fruit cake. What do we think? Kind of tasty. You know what else? Let's do this. Hi there. All right, let's do this because I can say whatever I want, right? When you can't see me, but if you can see my face, you'll know if I'm fibbing or if I actually like it or don't like it or whatever. You'll know if I'm fibbing. Okay, so that was just plain. I had a piece of cherry that was really tasty. The cake is not all that great though. I don't know. Okay. Yeah. I don't know what I think of that. The fruit is good. I love fruit though. So, you know, there's that. The cake is a little dry. It has a weird flavor. I'm not sure what I think. But let's try it with some mascarpone cheese, and then let's try it soaked in vanilla brandy. I did use vanilla, right? Yeah, vanilla. This. Oh, you can't see it if I do that. Hang on a second. I inhaled a crumb. Don't do that. This bottle of brandy, is a gift that I got 5 years ago. And I got it for my birthday because some people we didn't know were passing by on my birthday, and we just invited them in for our birthday party. And they came into the birthday party. And then they said, hang on a minute, we'll be right back. And they ran to the store and they bought me a bottle of vanilla brandy for my birthday. It was pretty darn cute. That's one of the ways my daughter met one of her neighbors. Or wait, did she already? She might have met them previous to that. No, lady. No. You're not coming over here. She loves mascarpone cheese, by the way. She might be a little jealous. Okay, next, mascarpone cheese. Let's try this. Oh my. I might have wanted to cut this smaller. I'm gonna... No. You can see the cat bed right behind her. And you can't see it because it's behind my head, but there's another one right behind my head. That gray thing right there goes back far all the way to the wall. That's another cat bed. No. You know what? I never did get upstairs to get the butter, but the addition of the cheese, that was really good. So I'm gonna have a little snack over here when all is said and done, because there's no way in heck I'm going to eat all this just as a demo kind of thing, right? Ain't going to happen. But it'll be sitting here. All right, so there's a lot of crumbs in my brandy. Ooh, there's a brandy soaked piece of fruit. Can't tell what that is. Just, I don't know. Wow. That's a lot of brandy. Okay. Ready? Let's try this. This might take my breath away a little bit. Might be a little bit. Does brandy ever go bad? I'm kind of just kidding. I don't think it's bad. It's fine. But, whew, burning my tongue. Whew. Okay. Holy mackerels. My eyes are a little watery. All right, here's the last thing. The last thing we're going to try. And then I'll tell you what I think of fruitcake for dessert. I think I should try the mascarpone cheese on the brandy soaked. Excuse me, lady. Here. Oh. Okay, I didn't mean to give her that much, but there she is, eating mascarpone. She loves mascarpone cheese. All right. Wow. Okay. I'm going to wash my hands a little bit, and we're going to get back to art. And I will share my fruitcake journey thoughts. Hold on one second. Okay. Before I switch back to just the tabletop mode, I thought I would show you she didn't eat all her cheese. I'm actually kind of, oh, excuse me. I'm actually kind of glad because I gave her a bit much. And I have to give her a little bit of an apology because maybe she doesn't like that bed. And look, that one's already full. Wait, which way? That way. There's already a little boy kitty all curled up in a ball over there. Aww. Okay. Enough silliness. Let's switch back and get some art done. And make some decisions about this cookbook. Or this future cookbook. Because I'm still not sure what the heck I want to do. And I don't like people in my cookbooks, so I'm just going to pretend she doesn't exist. Let's just go straight to the middle page, because I like this page a lot. So, here's some stuff I did while I was away. I got out the washi tape that came from my Your Creative Studio box. And here's a funny thing. I just heard while I was prepping for this video, I heard a lady talking about how she got the Your Creative Studio baking box. And I don't know if she was talking about the exact same box, but that's what I had out on my desk when she said it. I'm like, huh, I wonder if it's this exact same one. I don't remember when I got this, and I didn't see the date on her video, so I mean, I just don't actually know the answer, but it was kind of a hilarious coincidence. All right, so I cut these recipe cards down, as you can see, because I'm re-inking that edge, right? And I thought, I don't have the same ink anymore, so I'm just using an orange marker. Best I can do at the moment. I think I just had orange ink for a Halloween thing. I generally don't use orange very often. Okay, ready? So, first things first is this would get glued down, right? Boy. So I'll glue the flap down. If my glue is gonna come out, come on out. It's time to play. Get that stuck down. And then the two edges. What time is it anyway? Huh. Not sure why I'm hearing someone at my door. There shouldn't be anyone at my door right now. Okay. And then over. And I really should set these aside while I'm working. There we go. That makes more sense, doesn't it? One page at a time, lady. Then, where, right there, this, my decal tearing ruler. Super thin, super flimsy. I don't like the larger decal size. Even the smaller decal side, it's not great. It is a flipped, no, it's not, I don't know. It's not great, but I use it sometimes anyway. But you know what it is great for? It's great for when I glue more than I intended. Like if this had already dried and it was, you know, glue had seeped and got over here too far, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a great saw for making sure things don't get glued together, and if they did, trying to repair. Okay. So while I'm doing this and working on some more decorations, let's talk a little bit more about, let's talk a little bit more about favorite desserts. So number 3 on my favorite dessert list is, let's see, we did black magic cake and we did the white raspberry. Oh, yeah, I remember. Mandarin orange cake. Now, there is kind of a polarizing opinion. But I'm not talking just any Mandarin orange cake. So, this particular one is a very different than what is generally called a Mandarin orange cake. And from the cake that you make from putting whole mandarin oranges in a blender, it's not that either. And what? And words I just lost. It's very different in any case. So you bake it and you take it out of the oven and you pour over this toffee covering. So it's got like a frosting / soak to it, and it makes the most amazing toffee cake. I don't think it's ever really tasted very orangey. Oh, not you. You're terrible. Hold on. I'm grabbing a piece of tea-dyed paper. I'm grabbing me a tea-dyed paper. Okay, so I don't think it's ever tasted very much of orange. So if you're looking for something that actually tastes orange, this would not be your thing. It is, however, fabulous. And it is another one of the things I consider one of the best foods in the world. Oh, I should not have torn that where I did. Okay, well, you know, I did. So, let me move this. I gotta try to get at least sort of straight lines, right? Anywho, Mandarin Orange Cake is another one from the 70s. I think it was first baked in our family by my mother, but I'm not entirely sure. Someone else in the family may have baked it first. Because we had an awful lot of good cooker people in the fam, you know? Anywho, the Mandarin Orange Cake, yep, just absolutely fabulous. Why? My tearing is terribly, terribly lopsided. I thought my first tear was okay because I thought I got my tea-dyed paper pretty straight on the page. I apparently did not at all get it straight. So I'm going to try to fix it a bit. If I can make the ruler hold still. Okay, let's fix this end too. Yeah, that's pretty horrible. Okay, what else am I saying? Okay, so I had a few runner-ups in the dessert department. So those three I do consider among the best foods in the world. But as far as favorites go, honestly, I don't have a favorite anything, I don't think. Unless it's Eeyore if you're talking Pooh characters, which is a discussion that I was in partly not too terribly long ago. Eeyore is amazing. And is probably my favorite Pooh character. Although Owl's kind of hilarious too. Anyway, listen to me just babble. So, shoot, can't get this straight. There we go. I don't really have favorites. Like, I love music. Cannot live without music. But I couldn't tell you a favorite song or a favorite artist or a favorite anything in the music world because there are just too many choices and what mood am I in, etc., 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 right? Same is true for music. I just couldn't pick actual favorites. So, if I'm thinking the holiday season and cookie season, my grandmother's peppermint surprise cookies are very close to that best foods in the world list because they're not actually peppermint surprise. Like, there's a peppermint surprise cookie recipe that's much more common. Again, this is a very uncommon recipe, and it's more of a pastry than a cookie. You have to mold it, and then you roll it in sugar and white egg whites before it's baked, and that creates like this candy crust on the outside of a pastry, and then there's just chocolate chips in the middle, and it's just stellar. What else? I do have others. Where are you? Hold on a sec. Let me turn this around because I wrote some stuff down. Also ran desserts. Oh, Russian tea cakes. I love Russian tea cakes. And the reason those were on my mind is because when I was out and about looking for fruitcake, amongst other things, but trying to get the fruitcake so I could give it a try and find out what that's all about, I ran into a tray of fresh baked Russian tea cakes at the grocery store that someone had dropped. And they were all over the place, and they just left them on the shelf. So I went and turned them in. And the guy promptly threw the whole tray in the garbage. Aww. It was a sad moment. I already told you about shortbread. Love it, love it, love it. Another absolute favorite in the super simple flavors department. I really do like classics. Simple, classics, subtle, Excuse me, Darcy's December Daily. I did not ask you to fall in the way of my gluing. Creme brulee. Creme brulee, oh my gosh, I like anything custard though, really. I am a big eggnog fan. I'm custard pies. Drinking custard, which is really not different than eggnog. Except for maybe flavor profiles, but even then, still not really. And creme brulee, just another custard. Oh, and my my white chocolate raspberry trifle is loaded with custard. Lovely Bavarian custard. Apparently that's too high. Come down, come down, come down. There we go, better. All right, so we have a writing section. We have a tuck your recipe in department. I'm gonna set this aside for a minute and we're gonna do another one. Nope. Actually, I will be right back. Okay, so I did a bunch of stuff off camera, and the end of my time always sneaks up on me. I think I'm doing so good, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God. So I want to show you something. Whenever I have an item like acetate or vellum, are the two that I think of mostly, but anything that is not particularly glue friendly because it won't stick, or because vellum rolls itself up into little balls, as we all know, I suppose. I will take the item, in this case, this vellum picture of this lovely little Scandinavian lady or gnome with a droopy hat or something, baking a pie, and I will poke holes in it. So I took my crocodile and punched holes in this one. There's my little strengthen the top business. And then I will do something along that dotted area to glue the item down. In this case, it's going to be washi tape. And as we know, washi tape doesn't really stick that great on its own. It's not meant to. It's meant to be changeable and removable and what have you. So we want some extra glue. And I'm just going to run this through my glue stick, like so. And then tape it down and tear it off where I want it. So, gosh darn it, I don't know if she didn't stay straight. Straighten out, lady. Oh, still didn't stay straight, and I don't know if I'm over the fold or not. Am I inside the fold? Oh, just. Okay, you might want to stay away from the fold a little better than I did, because if you don't, you can jam up your book and it won't function the way you want it to. Before this dries, nope, it's already dried. I just ripped my page. Ugh, right there. And what are we going to do on this side? If I be more careful. Yep, I was more careful and that one turned out fine. So I'm just going to tear this off right at the top and right at the bottom. And then I would do this all the way around. So sides first and then across the bottom. And those holes will make sure that they connect the washi tape directly to the paper, which means this will have a really good anchor holding it down. In this case, I can see the holes now in the pocket. So I'm probably going to do some decorating that gets rid of that. Ah, let go. Okay. And I'm being pretty wasteful. If I wasn't in so much of a hurry, I would be more careful. But I also prepared some stuff for some other pages. So I'm going to go ahead and do another big step without you. And I'll be right back to show you how we're going to finish this. Okay, a few things before we completely finish up here. One, make sure that you check out all the other people who are participating in Darcy's December Daily or Darcy's Ember Daily. Okay, and if you have nothing to do on Christmas Day or you're done with your Christmas Day stuff and you just want to chill out, I will be live most of Christmas Day from 1 p.m. Central Time onward. Maybe even earlier than that, but I don't know for sure what's going to happen. So 1 p.m. Central Time, and I will be doing all kinds of things all day and all evening, and I don't know how late I'll go, but maybe till midnight. I might be going for 11 hours. And we're going to have some fun and play some games and do a lot of art. And I have a very special project in honor of Darcy's December Daily. I hope you get a kick out of it. Yeah. Okay. So, look in the description box if you need more info about all that stuff. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And tell me about your favorite desserts. And tell me about how you feel about fruitcake. And, yeah, all that. So, here's what I'm thinking. I learned a lot. I either want bigger pages or smaller cards and such. I'm not sure which way to go. But this is going to be a good sample of me to figure it all out. So I'm glad I pulled this out and got started on it. And sorry, my camera jumped away again. I really got to figure out why it keeps doing that. Okay, so I'm thinking you just have... Oh, by the way, Sonia from Artsy Solutions had a freebie, and she was on a Friday freebie feature of mine quite a long time ago. I haven't done one in weeks, but I made some little... snippets out of her stuff. Time to bake. This could go anywhere on here. It needs more. It doesn't pull it off all by itself, but maybe it just goes right there. That's not bad, right? So there's that, and then there's this page, and I put a card in there, and it could go in like this. And then you could see the writing through there. Or if this is plain or decorated. Minimally decorated, I think. But if it was decorated or just left plain, it looks good behind this lady. So that's a way to do it. You see, I tore the edge on this one so that I can leave this cluster on the side. And then a person could take a picture of their recipe and put it here or down here or anywhere, right? And then write their little story or info about the recipe. And then I thought, I had some little strawberries, and I thought, what if you just put something this simple here-ish? Maybe that's a strawberry pie she made, right? I don't know. I kind of have another idea, like what if I took a little bit of blue checked gingham and put a little frayed gingham piece behind there and made it a little cluster. It would bring the blue in her dress and stuff. That might be super cute. Okay, I didn't glue anything down because honestly, I told you this is just practice and I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm starting to spark ideas. This page really bothered me because, I'll show you. It's actually kind of gorgeous with nothing. I just like this all by itself. No recipes can go here. Nobody's allowed to write here. And then I was going through this. Darcy, you recognize this one? So Darcy was doing a studio clean out, kind of use it or lose it. Gosh darn it, can't think of the word. When you're, when you're thinning the herd. whatever. Anyway, she was doing some cleaning out stuff on her bookshelf and she ran into this one. I think this was a keep, but she flipped through it and I just loved it. And I instantly went out and bought it. Like that minute, I went out and bought it. Okay, I didn't go out anywhere. I bought it off of Thrifty Books or Thrift Books or whatever. So what if I took a page from it and backed it with tea-dyed paper and used it as a recipe card? I could put lines on there maybe. And then matched the blueberries with some blueberries right here on the pocket. Again, maybe with a little bit of a torn rag background or a flour sack background or a red towel kind of thing, just to make a little snippet right there. I kind of not happy that it's not blackberry, but you know, I could find some blackberries maybe. So this was our very first page, and it has a recipe card in the pocket because I shrunk the recipe cards so they would fit my sample. And you don't want to do a ton here. Somebody might put a picture here of their recipe that goes on this page, and then they do their writing. They could put a picture anywhere, even in the middle, just right all around it. Or this could go over here. And then whatever, you know, maybe that goes right there instead of what I have there. I don't know. But they take a picture, they put their picture on, they tell their story about their recipe. Okay. Next, we have a very orange page, and I thought, why don't we just go with it, pretend this is the pumpkin pie page. This is the favorite pumpkin pie recipe page. And there's the recipe card. There's a little bit of a further decoration. And that's it. Last one? Yep, last one. This is kind of a rip-off in the writing department, but what if somebody put a picture of whatever their dessert is right there? And then wrote around it. If they didn't have a lot to say, that would be fine. I mean, you could just write cherries. Yum. Right? And maybe it's not maybe it's cherry but not cherry pie. So maybe this picture goes over here on the recipe card instead, because that would make it go together better. Although it's not cherry pie. It's cherry something. But lots of different ways to decorate and things to decorate with in any case. Stop moving. And I have lots of recipe book ideas. So I mean, someday, look, I have the whole book and some more pages, and look at all these cutouts I have. I wanted to use this somewhere today because I love this stove, and I didn't use it. And I wanted to use this today too because I thought that lady needed a ladle, and I'm overtime. Oh, well, I guess I'm overtime today, but I thought this lady needed a ladle on her page somewhere. And then I ended up not using that either. But for some reason, she reminds me of a gnome. Well, not for some reason. Look, she's plump and has a pointy hat. Of course she reminds me of a gnome. But gnomes like ladles, and this looks like a gnome ladle to me. And it continued the red that's in this picture and her dress. So I really, really wanted this to be here. And I just couldn't figure out how. Is it maybe that looks like trying to use a ladle too hard. Trying too hard to make sure the ladle fits in there. All right, that is all I know about fruitcake and dessert time and kitties and mascarpone cheese and creating a keepsake recipe book, or a recipe book to keep all our keepsakes in. We all have them, those index cards with written stuff on that's fading and you can't see it very well anymore, and we have those, and we need to try to make sure they stay in one place. But keeping track of that old writing is just wonderful. What if you wrote it on a new card and stored the old card in here? Oh my gosh, that would be fabulous. All right. I will see you on Monday. If you're following Junk Journal, Let's Make Journals. Let's Make Junk Journals. I will see you on Christmas Day if you stop in for the live. Oh, by the way, if this is in the future, it was Christmas Day 2024. Wonder how long this video will be around. Okay, bye. See you next time.